favorite time. Once upon a time. Once upon a time, the goose drank wine, the monkey played the fiddle on a sweet potato vine. The vine broke, the monkey choked, all went to heaven but the billy goat. My ancestors, many years ago, came from Africa. They didn't come from Europe. No. They didn't come from Asia. No. They didn't come from the Philippines, New Zealand, Hawaii, Mexico. My ancestors came from Africa. But my mother-in-law, her ancestors came from England. And when she found out I was gonna marry her son, she got sick and couldn't come to the wedding. But her son told her, "Mother, this is who I love. You missed the wedding, and it's your loss." So she didn't come. And the relationship between a mother and a son began to change. She didn't call her son anymore, didn't go visit her son anymore. But her son would call his mother once or twice a week to see how she was doing. And then that went on for about a year or so. Then he went to visit her to see how she was doing, without me. That went on for about a year or so. Then my husband and I decided to adopt a little baby girl, 6 weeks old. And he went to visit his mother again. And he brought me this time with the baby. When I got there, she was nice. She was very nice. She opened the door. That was a start. I walked in. I sat on the couch. She sat way across the room. But there was no conversation. There were just questions. Because, see, my mother-in-law didn't know anybody black. All she knew was what she saw on the TV. And back then it was power to the people and all political prisoners. The Black Panther Party. That's not me. That's not my family. But that's all she knew. But as time went on, pretty soon we had another visit. And she began to warm up. The questions died away. And when the questions died away, we began to talk eye to eye, heart to heart. And when you start doing that, what do you think happened? The wall between us began to come down. And pretty soon I'm playing the piano. She's singing a little bit, trying to sing. She's playing with the baby. Now I see her holding the baby. And she said, "Isn't she cute? She's so sweet." But as I saw her hold that child, I saw the warmth come over her face and the spark in her eyes. And after a few more visits with the baby, playing the piano, helping her in the kitchen, I couldn't believe this. One time we were leaving her house, and my mother-in-law tried to give me a half a hug. Hey, that's better than no hug, kind of. That was a start. And about a year later, my husband and I decided to adopt a boy, 3.5 years old. And when she met him, she just loved him. I mean, she was just hugging him, and we were playing the piano. They were singing together. I'm helping her in the kitchen. We went for rides in the car. I mean, the visits got better and better and better. And pretty soon, we left her house. She tried to give me a whole hug. I went, whoa. Could she like me? I know she couldn't love me. I said, I'm going to test her. I invited my mother-in-law to Thanksgiving dinner. And what do you think she did? She came. And to spice things up, I invited my mama and daddy. My mama and daddy hadn't met them in life. And when my daddy walked in the door and he saw her and he found out her name was Lorraine, he walked over to her, picked up her hand, and sung the whole song by Nat King Cole, My Sweet Lorraine, Lorraine. She loved my daddy, but she missed all those years knowing him. Everybody liked my daddy, who took time to get to know him. That's the kind of guy he was. He was Mr. Happy. And no offense to anybody in here who's English. No offense. But my mother-in-law, she couldn't cook. Just throw things in a pot, boil it. No flavor, no seasoning. She loved my daddy's cornbread dressing. She loved those greens. She loved those candied yams and that baked chicken with the long gravy. I mean, she was eating like it was the Last Supper. And then I see my mother-in-law and my mother sitting at the table talking about their early childhoods. The day my mother was born was the day her mother died. Not a good start, is it? Cinderella ain't seen nothing compared to my mother's life. And my mother-in-law, her mother came to America, an immigrant, with nothing. Had a hard time in America. But they both said, wait a minute, we had hard times, but we made it. We survived. We are still here. My mother-in-law finally began to realize life was too short to miss out on family and love and good eating on holidays. And every holiday after that, what do you think she was? At my house, my mom and daddy's house, or we brought the food to her house. But I share this story to say this. Be very careful how you treat people, because you never know what the end's going to be. Because when my mother-in-law was on her deathbed in the hospital, guess who was all around her bed? Black folk. The nurse was black. Me, my mother, my father, my brother, my 2 kids, and her husband and son. Do you know who put lotion on her dry legs and feet? My mother. Do you know who rubbed her back and fluffed her pillow because her back was hurting her so? My mother. Be very careful how you treat people, because you never know who might have to give you a cool drink of water and rub your brow. My mother-in-law had her faults like we all do. It's good when you know them. She had her faults, but she must have done something right to raise a son like she did. Because my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease about 6 years ago. And guess who is taking care of her? Her son. A closed mind is a wonderful thing to lose. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. You never know what the end's going to be.